All right, let's take a look at the next lesson, lesson 8, hands-on, model fractions and multiplication. So all this hands-on lesson means is that we're going to see more models in here than normal, and that's okay because we are visual people and we need to see them. So let's take a look. It says that we have learned how to write a fraction as a sum. Remember, sum means to add a sum of unit fractions. So you know all unit fractions have a 1 on top. So we've learned to write a fraction as a sum of unit fractions. And here's our example, 4/5. I would add my unit fractions 4 times to get to 4/5. In today's lesson, we're going to look at how we can also write a fraction as a multiple of a unit fraction. So now instead of adding, we're going to multiply, which is super easy. All right, let's look at this. Use an equation. So remember, all equations need an equal sign. Use an equation to write 4/5 as a multiple of a unit fraction. Well, I want you to go ahead and be thinking, multiple means that we're going to multiply. And unit fraction, so my unit fraction for 4/5 is going to be 1/5. So I'm just going to break this down for you and then to help you understand what's going on, and then I'll show you the easiest way to do this. All right, so let's think of this as fraction tiles. If I had 4/5 and I needed to show what that looked like as fraction tiles, I would have 1/5. It's a very terrible 5, but it is what it is. Plus 1/5, plus 1/5, plus 1/5. All right, there's all of my fraction tiles for 4/5. So I have 1/5, 1/5, 1/5, 1/5. Do you agree that is 4/5? Hopefully so, because it is. Now, how many of these tiles did I use? 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like in my sum right here, I had 4. Now let me ask you this. How many times did I write 1/5? 4. You are correct. So, in writing my equation, I would say that 4/5 is equal to 4 times 1/5, because I wrote 1/5 4 times. And so this is what my answer would look like. All right, now another way is to use repeated addition, which is basically what I've been referencing anyways. So we know that 4/5 is equal to this 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5 plus 1/5. So how many times did we have to add 1/5 to equal to 4/5? We had to add it 4 times. So if I'm writing it 4 times, that means 4/5 is equal to 4 times 1/5, because I used repeated addition, which is just multiplication. So there's my answer. All right. So let's keep our equation in mind from our first example. 4/5 is equal to 4 times 1/5. And this is writing my fraction as a multiple of unit fractions. All right. You know that 6 is a multiple of 2. 2, 4, 6, 8. So correct. 6 is a multiple of 2. So that means that any multiples of 6, such as 12, 18, and 24, are also multiples of 2. The same is true for fractions. A multiple of a fraction can also be written as a multiple of a unit fraction. All right, so let's take a look here. Use an equation to write 2 times 4/5 as a multiple of unit fraction. Now, think about earlier when I just had, wish I could make that bigger, but I can't. Whenever I just had 4/5, right? Whenever I just had 4/5, I had 4 times 1/5, right? But now I don't have Let me draw this model from earlier. So there's my 1/5, 1/5, sorry, it's messy, 1/5 and 1/5. Whoops. All right, so there's my model for my 4/5. So that's what I had earlier. But now, instead of just 4/5, now I have 2 times 4/5. So let's think about that. Instead of just having 1, which is 4/5, what if I had 2 of these? Exact same models. How many 1/5 would I have then total? Hopefully you said 8 because I have 4/5 up here. I'd have 4/5 here. And 4/5 plus 4/5 is 8/5. Well, let's think of that as a multiplication problem. So with writing 2 times 4/5 as a multiple of a unit fraction, I would say 2 times 4/5, we're always going to rewrite what they give us, equals, because I need an equation. So if one of my 4/5 is just equal to 4 times 1/5, 2 of them is 2 times 4, which is 8 times 1/5. All right, let's take a look. Write an equation showing how 3/8 is a multiple of 1/8. So that means 3/8 equals, how can I make 3/8 a multiple of 1/8? It would be 3 times 1/8 because I'd have to write 1/8 3 times to equal to 3/8. All right. Write equations showing how 6/8 is a multiple of both 3/8 and 1/8. So on this one, I have to say 6/8 equals to something times 3/8. And then I'm going to have to say 6/8 equals to something times 1/8. All right, so how many times would I need to write 3/8 to equal to 6/8? 2, because 3 times 2 is 6. And then how many whole times would I need to write 1/8 to equal to 6/8? 6, because 6 times 1 is 6. So that is how 6/8 is a multiple of 3/8, and this is how 6/8 is a multiple of 1/8. All right, so let's take a look at the next example. All right, use an equation to write each fraction or product as a multiple of a unit fraction. So here's my fraction, here are my products because they're actually multiplying. So what I want you to do is I want you to rewrite what's out here. 3/4 equals, and now let's write it as a multiple of a unit fraction. So the unit fraction for 3/4 is going to be 1/4. How many times would I write 1/4 to equal to 3/4? 3. So 3/4 equals to 3 times 1/4. Over here, 7/8 equals to what times 1/8? All right, so 7/8 equals to what times 1/8? How many times do I need 1/8 to equal to 7/8? 7 times. All right. Now let's look at these products right here. I'm going to rewrite them. Now think of this. Instead of just having 3/5, let's write my unit fraction out here. I have 5 times 3/5. Now, if it was just the 3/5, I would have to say 3 times 1/5, but it's not. It's 5 times 3/5, which is going to be 15. 5 times 3 is 15. So let's look at this one. 6 times 7/12 is going to be, 6 times 7 is 42 times 1/12. So there we go. There are our equations as multiples of unit fractions and our products as multiples of unit fractions. I hope this has helped. If not, let me know and I will help you more.